Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Two topics for this video. One has a few subtopics, but the main topic is the European Union shows its tyrannical nature more and more. Remember, the European Union was formed supposedly to be a greater power for good, where free people and countries will come together and they will enjoy the Western civilization. Well, what we have in Europe right now is a perversion of the Western civilization. That's why they call it the Judeo-Christian culture and not the Greco-Roman civilization. That would be the European, the Western civilization. They perverted that notion. So we have here collective punishment in the European Union now. We have sanctions. We don't like what you say, we're going to ban you. We don't like what you do, we're going to close your accounts. We're going to sanction this country, we're going to sanction this country within the European Union. European Union is a tyrannical entity, and it shows. We have Slovakia in this case at the receiving end. That's one example. That's a subtopic. The second subtopic of the European Union, the tyrannical entity, is Germany, being delusional as it is, promises that it will defend all NATO territory. Now remember, Germany is under American occupation still. I mean, you can use whatever euphemisms you want. The reality is the Americans call the shots in Germany. They have military present over there. And not only. That's another subtitle, which is, as I said, the Germans vow to protect all Europe when they cannot even protect themselves. They need the Americans to protect them. It's just baboonish. And then another subtopic is Plan B for Ukraine's accession, EU accession. How Brussels is preparing to overcome Hungary's veto. So the European Union set some laws, policies, by which, they run their business. And one of them is this. If we are supposed to implement sanctions on countries outside of the European Union, foreign policy, and we gather all the country members, and we have these guys, foreign ministers, to vote or veto. So if the vote is not unanimous, that means all the country says so, yes, that means someone vetoed it, says, I disagree. So it's not a consensus. It has to be 100%. That's their law. And they say that's the way we're going to figure things out. Agree, join European Union. These are the laws. And now they have a problem. There are some guys who want to push in a certain direction. Anyway, they have Hungary, European member state, who says, no, we disagree with that. And we're going to veto it. So it's one or maybe two, which is Slovakia, saying, no, I don't think we agree with that. So according to the European Union foreign policy law or operational, whatever policy you want to call it, that means they're going to stall. So if these guys say we don't like it, it's not going to happen. Now they say Plan B. What do you mean Plan B? Didn't we agree that rape would be punished with prison time? Now they tell us the Plan B if you do that? Is there a law or is not a law? It's preferential, situational, that means there's no law. So Plan B, they want to bypass, they overcome, not overcome Hungary's veto, which is their duty, their law, their right to do it. They don't like it because they want to push something on everybody else. That's tyrannical. And how they will do it? They will probably substitute the veto to a majority from now on. Then we have the Germans showing how democratic and free they are. The German banks, one in particular, restricts a former chancellor's, Schröder's, bank account from receiving money from outside. So, what? Because of the sanctions imposed by whom on what? Is that the European Union the Romanians want to go? And yes, Mr. Nicușor is pro-European Union. When I hear someone saying pro-European Union, in my ears, I know I'm an idiot, sounds this: tyrannical. You want to be in that? You already are. You are under their occupation militarily. I'm talking about the United States of America mainly. Militarily, culturally, economically, politically, all these things are under. They're not yours. They're not Romanians. They're not Romanians. They're not. Say it one more time. They're not. And now we go to the second topic. What's going on over there? We go to the second topic. Someone over there. Who there? Poland. How should I put it? Poland wants to earn big money on Ukraine reconstruction. Aww. Now, you know, it's funny when you come in a room and you say, guys, right here, these guys right here want to do this one. They want to go that direction. And I tell you why. I tell you because this is the dynamics. I learned it with years and so on. I might be wrong, you say, but this is what I say. They want to go and take part of Ukraine. They want to reconstruct. If they can destroy the Russians, they're eager beavers. They want to play a bigger role in Europe, militarily and politically. They want to be recognized as a how do you call it, as a power in Europe. And maybe they will ask for more territories from adjacent countries. No, Emil, you're crazy. And I say, okay. Patience is a Greek virtue. It's not a biblical virtue. No. Because God is very harsh. You know, he's what's the word they use in the Bible when they talk about his wrath? God's wrath. I don't know. God cannot. That's an imbalance. When you're angry, that's an imbalance. So when God's wrath, that means he can't how do you call it, monitor or temperate his mood. Oh my God! All right. Right? So that's Poland. And I'm going to show you how Poland wants stuff. And when I said about Poland that wants everything I said, I have Polish friends, some of them say, nah, that's no. Yeah, wait and see. And now the Poles want to participate in what was destroyed by the Russians to reconstruct. Stay in line, boy. Go over there, clean your room. The Americans are first. Their companies will reconstruct after the Russians allow them or not. But hey, they don't want to get it. So let's start with the first topic. This comes from Sputnik. Fico, this is the Prime Minister of Slovakia, blasts Merz, the Chancellor of Germany, Merz European Union sanctions threats against Slovakia as unacceptable. So you understand what's going on here? A German chancellor, president, threatens the prime minister of another country, Slovakia, with the entity's sanctions. This is like the Baltic states. Estonia wants to go to war against Russia, but with NATO together. They want NATO to go, let's go and fight the Russians with NATO. Not alone, with NATO. So this is the European Union. So the European Union will sanction countries within it to make sure that they don't go left and right. They recognize certain things. And this is what's going on. Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico on Tuesday slammed German Chancellor Friedrich Merz threats to slap European Union sanctions against Slovakia as absolutely unacceptable. What are we going to do? Are we going to secede? And I'm quoting, what the Chancellor has said is unacceptable in modern Europe. Unacceptable. You find out now. Huh? In Fico's opinion, if someone wants to pursue a policy of a single mandatory opinion, then this will spell the end of democracy. Anyone who believes I will refrain from expressing my opinion is sorely mistaken. The Slovak Prime Minister also stated that he is ready for dialogue and willing to meet with Merz if necessary. He further emphasized that Slovakia's policies do not violate the principles of the rule of law state in any way. On Monday, Merz, Okay, next. Germany vows to defend all NATO territory. I have to remind you that Germany has about 70,000 American troops of its territory to defend them from the Russians or whomever. And Germany also has nuclear weapons, I think, on its territory from the United States of America. Not theirs. They can't have it. Verboten. There you have. He promises. With whose fucking army? Are you going to arm yourselves? Are the Americans going to allow you? Next. Plan B, did you know? European Pravda, there's a plan B for Ukraine's EU accession. How Brussels is preparing to overcome Hungary's veto. Do you mean like bypassing their own laws? Exactly. Hungary's pro-Russian prime minister. Why don't you say pro-Hungarian prime minister? Why? Because in European Union, you're not allowed to have a different take on foreign policy than the Brussels. Has long been a source of problems for Ukraine. Now the situation is critical. Who brought you that? Your sponsors, that's who brought you that. In less than a year, elections are set to be held in Hungary. So they're going to overthrow the government over there, promoting the opposition like in Romania, like in France, like in many other places. The ruling Fidesz party has launched its campaign built around Ukraine. Hungarian state propaganda is promoting the narrative that Ukraine's accession to EU will destroy the Hungarian state. So that is not pro-Russia, it's pro-Hungary then. So Orban, who is blocking Ukraine's rapprochement with the EU, is the only one who can save Hungary. Well, he is a patriot, I give him that, with big balls. Any EU enlargement decisions, even technical ones, require trapa-lapa consensus. Hungary's veto has derailed the planned start of accession talks, and Orban can block Ukraine for as long as it wants. Well, Orban was elected democratically by the Hungarians to promote the Hungarians' interest. So if he has the mandate to veto Ukraine, is in his prerogative and he's not doing anything illegal. To counter this, you remember, Brussels is discussing Plan B that bypasses Hungary. So yesterday, we all know rape is illegal, but we're going to go with bypassing that law? How can you possibly do that? The first legal steps within the plan were already taken by Ukraine and the EU. That's a conspiracy. Not theory, a conspiracy. These guys conspire against Hungary. Last week, although both sides prefer not to speak about them publicly, secret conspiracy. However, the main part of Plan B, which Brussels refers to as parallel negotiations, threats and blackmail that is, still lies ahead. It will likely begin only in August and September. Once all efforts to persuade Orban are exhausted, that means we have to go with Plan B. This plan is far from perfect, and some European sources even call it dangerous. For instance, there is no certainty that after isolating Hungary within the European Union for doing what the Hungarians want to do, the remaining 26 EU countries will stay on Ukraine's side. All of them? Are all of them paid? Why would Romania agree with that? Why Czech Republic? There is also the risk that Hungary could mount a large challenge to the process in court. And most importantly, parallel negotiations, you see how they put over there, parallel negotiations, will not have the same legal implications as standard accession process. Therefore, many diplomats, both in Ukraine and EU, are currently skeptical about the idea. So they want to do something illegal or threaten these guys, or maybe do something in Hungary. However, if Hungary maintains its veto, the Plan B might become the necessary fallback solution. So if the Russians' negotiations with the Americans or the Ukrainians just falter, right, just go away, that means the Russians can nuke everybody? Is that the only option? Yeah, I guess so. When the Russians said we're going to enter Ukraine because our negotiations with NATO, not even negotiations, in 2021 and early 2022, January and February, and they say we're going to enter, is that justified? No, because we're told it's an unjustified attack on Ukraine. All right, so here is Plan B, my advantages. What are they going to do, my friends? The key is in Hungary's hands? Yeah, we'll find out, right? A rescue plan for Ukraine's European integration. Is this written in stone or something? That Ukraine should be a EU member? It seems like. Plan B can only be activated once it becomes clear to everyone that Orban will not back down and will continue to block Ukraine's path to the Hungarians' interest, to the EU at least until the Hungarian elections. You got it? There you go. The reason is Moldovas, this and other baboons. This is Plan B has emerged. Flexibility, all the nice words by these guys, my friend. right here. They all wanted except Hungary. So you can imagine, I've been in school in Romania during the communist times, socialist times, communist times. So over there it was like this. You had the principal of the school, and the principal of the school was the dictator, clearly. You have the teachers who were all like most of them, maybe one or two, they were a little bit of a mavericks, but they were challenging the authority because he wanted to be the principal, next tyrant, and everybody was so ass-licking from these guys, and we the students were just some token of that they were just pushed aside, unimportant, no rights, no nothing. I saw this in school in Romania, and then I saw it in the institutions in Romania, and I'm talking about the communist times. That's the way it was. When I read these kind of things, it's the same way. They don't have the idea of maybe Hungary has a point, and besides, that's our rule. That's it. End of a conversation. We can talk to Orban, but if Orban says no, then we can't do anything. They say no, we can. Now this is the European Union that the Romanians with their Nicu Șordan want to be integrated. Still more. Go ahead if you like tyranny, and I'm going to show you how the European Union or the banks are working within the European Union. That means don't put your money there. They can take it away if they don't like what you say. Russia Today. German bank restricts ex-chancellor's account over sanctions fears. So remember, this is an ex-chancellor. What if you say something or you do something? Sparkasse, Hanover reportedly froze payments to Gerhard Schröder from sources it has deemed Russia-related. A German bank has imposed restrictions on an account belonging to former Chancellor Schröder due to concerns. They're concerned. People are concerned with you. Who are concerned with you? Your parents are concerned with the child. Don't go like that outside. It's cold. You're not dressed. Put that coat on you. But is the government my fucking father or mother? Some people like that. Some people who like to see the European Union, Europa, yeah. Those like it. And the guys who like to have a parent somewhere always helping them, but not others. Somehow. Why? Because I'm a good person. Why don't you fucking do it yourself with your balls? Blasphemy! Kill him where are the rocks? Wanna kill him, burn him on the stake. I have many people that I know of that would burn me on the stake with no problem. And they will celebrate because they say they're justified. This guy is crazy. This guy committed that. People like him should not be around. I know people like that. In the 21st fucking century, my friends, they're still going to the goat herders in the deserts idea. We're gonna stone them to death for blasphemy. Pula, man. Let's go to the next one. I'm getting fucked up here. Did you say I'm always fucked up? Okay, let's go to the Poles with the balls. I give them that. The Poles, most Poles have balls, big balls. I'm not talking about Tusk though, or what's his name, Sikorski, the foreign minister nowadays. Russia Today. Poland wants to earn big bucks on Ukraine. Tusk, this weasel, right there. My God, he looks not like a warlock. He looks like a witch. If you cover his hair, let's put it like this, just his face, right there, you wouldn't say he's a man. Okay, warlock. Let's read it. Warsaw can play a key role in rebuilding the country after the conflict, according to Prime Minister. And you also want Lviv, Lutsk, and half of Ukraine as well. Poland intends to profit from Ukraine's post-conflict reconstruction. During a visit in European Papa, this is what he says. It is not wrong to say we want to earn big money for Poland on the reconstruction of Ukraine. We want to help. I have to remind this piece of shit that helping doesn't require anything in return. So if you say that I'm gonna earn big bucks for my services, then not help. It's a business transaction. We have to make a difference between that, my friends. A bank does not help you. It makes profits. Okay? And if you say, well, it helps you because in need, you go to the bank. Let's say I'm not in need. Where's the bank? dies. So the bank needs me, needs us. It's like the rib and Adam remaining in the dogma in a science fiction realm. Okay, you got the, when Adam said, "Oh," said God, "oh, wait a second, we have Adam here, he's getting bored. No, I'm not. All right, let's build him something so he can have fun with." All right, so what are we gonna do? Adam, go to sleep, smack. All right, and then not he, me and my angels, okay? We are gonna take his rib, something unimportant, one of how many ribs we got. They didn't choose to get his heart or part of his heart. Why? Those guys who wrote that and came with the idea, they didn't know what the heart is. They didn't know these things are more important than a rib. I think that's important. Let's put it out. So you're going to take a rib, unimportant. You can live as an organism, perfect, without a rib, but not without a heart or a liver, okay? Or a brain. I mean, with the brain, you can look around. See, a lot of them work only with the bzz, no brain. So they smacked this guy. The guy fell asleep, supposedly, knocked out. And then they got a rib. They built a woman over there, okay? And then they now stop doing that. Go at it. All right, that's how the whole thing was. And who depends on whom? Well, a rib, if you take it out of a body and you put it right here, it's going to get rotten. It's going to die. It's going to nothing. It can't survive. That's the... Who's more important? Who depends on whom? The same here with the bank. But an organism can live without 1, 2, 3 ribs, 5 ribs, 10 ribs. You can just stay like, yeah, I'm doing fine. Okay. Okay. So that's the way it is. So the banks are the rib. We and our businesses are the organism. Get that in your head. The bank does not help you. The bank survives because of you. You are in charge. The same here. We want to help. We're going to reconstruct. That means give more weapons to Ukraine. Ukraine will start bombing with our weapons more towards the Russians. The Russians will fuck them up, destroy more, and we have more to reconstruct. Thank you very much for being with me again today. My friends, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. What's that? Let me show you this maybe. Right here. Poland has been one of Ukraine's top donors since the conflict with Russia escalated in 2022, providing over 5.1 billion euros. That's $5.7 billion in aid, more than 70% of it military. What did I tell you? So if 70% out of, let's say, 6 right here is about 4 point something, okay? Let's say 4%, 4 billion. So $4 billion Poland gave to Ukraine, according to this right here. About $4 billion. The Ukrainians destroy the Russians will flatten these guys, and we're going to come and get the $4 billion back with reconstruct helping. That helping like we're going to build with our companies, mind you, all right? And these guys are going to pay us. Who's going to pay you? What do Ukrainians have? Loans. From whom? From IMF, International Monetary Fund, Bank, World Bank, these guys, and the Americans, and all that, the funds, okay? So it's like we are like in a circle, the dogs, in heat go around and sniff one another in a circle. These guys, I'm going to pay, you destroy here, but you provide weapons, more destructions. In order to do this, we're going to pay you money, the money with the reconstruction, but with both hands, you increase the damage and your profits. Weapons, and then you buy weapons and destruction. And the Poles are helping. And the European Union, the good guys. European Union will disintegrate sooner or later, unless it's going to go to a really in-your-face dictator. I think it's already a garbage, but it's not why these guys went in the European Union in the first place. Well, good luck to you. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.